Today, a man named Phil Ivey is banned from casinos worldwide. Not because he stole, not because he used devices, not because he hacked anything. Because he won too much money legally, and the casinos decided, after paying him, that they would prefer their money back. £7.7 million in London, $9.6 million in Atlantic City. Over $21 million total. He never touched the cards out of turn. He never marked anything. He never broke a single law on the books. And in the end, he didn't keep a dollar. The casinos sued him and won. This is the story of the perfect exploit, legal, mathematical, invisible on every camera, in every room, and the 4 years it took 2 courtrooms on 2 continents to take it apart. August 2012, Crockford's Casino, Mayfair, London. One of the oldest private gambling clubs in the world. Members only. High stakes. The kind of room where the carpet is thick enough to muffle the sound of money changing hands. At 10:30, a man walks through the front door. He is unhurried. He adjusts nothing about himself when he enters. He has been in rooms like this before. Phil Ivey, professional poker player. The man has won more World Series of poker bracelets than most people have had serious jobs, 10 of them. He sits at the baccarat table, places his hands flat on the felt, and the stakes are established, £50,000 per hand. The casino manager smiles from across the floor. A whale, a high roller. They love whales, but this whale is different. Over the next 48 hours, Phil Ivey will win £7.7 million using a technique so subtle, so precise, that the surveillance cameras will record every second of it and still see nothing wrong. He will beat the house at a game that is designed mathematically guaranteed to favor the house, and it will be completely legal, until the casino refuses to pay. 3 months earlier, May 2012, Las Vegas. Phil Ivey is sitting in a hotel room when a woman named Kelly Sun spreads a playing card on the table between them. She is a poker player by trade, but what she actually is, what makes her dangerous, in a way Ivey has not encountered before, is an advantage player. Someone who finds the gaps in casino systems and lives inside them. The card on the table is a Jamaco brand playing card, standard casino issue, used in high-end establishments across Europe and the United States. Kelly Sun points at the edge. Ivey looks. He sees nothing. She rotates the card 180 degrees, holds it toward the light, and asks him to look again. He squints. Still nothing. She slides a magnifying glass across the table without a word. Now he sees it. The pattern on the back of the card, the geometric design printed on every card in the deck, extends precisely 0.3 millimeters farther on one edge than on the other. Not visible to the naked eye. Not visible in normal casino lighting from a normal distance. But it is there. It has always been there. It is a manufacturing defect. And it is present on millions of cards, currently in use in casinos around the world. This is called edge sorting, Kelly Sun says. If you can get the casino to rotate certain cards, you can identify them later. You will know what is coming before it is dealt. Ivey thinks about this. How do you get them to rotate the cards? She almost smiles. You ask nicely. Ivey leans back. Why come to me? She sets the card down and looks at the magnifying glass for a moment before answering. In 2007, she says, she was in Macau. A gambling debt connected to a former boyfriend had spiraled beyond anything she could control. Private debt collectors, the kind connected to the darker machinery of Macau's VIP casino industry, took her. Held her for days in a concrete room. No light, no information, no rest, no explanation of what would happen next. After that, almost 3 weeks in a mainland detention facility, isolated, uncertain. When she came out, she did not run from the casino world. She went deeper into it. She spent years learning to read playing cards the way other people learn instruments obsessively, technically, until the cards gave up information no one else knew they contained. She trained her eyes to detect microscopic inconsistencies across a felt table in dim light while carrying on a conversation. In gambling circles, they began to call her the Queen of Sorts. Why come to you? She says. Because they will never let me sit down for stakes like this. But they will fall over themselves to seat Phil Ivey. And I need someone at that table. August 20th, 2012. Crockford's Casino. First session. Ivy arrives with Kelly Sunday. They are playing Punto Banco, high-stakes baccarat. The rules of the game are simple enough that they require no skill. 2 hands are dealt player and banker, and whichever is closer to 9 wins. There is no decision-making. There is no strategy. It is pure chance, unless you know what the cards are before they are turned over. The casino manager greets Ivy personally at the floor. He is a whale. They want to keep him comfortable. Ivy has 5 requests. Each one sounds like the kind of thing a superstitious gambler might ask for, and casinos have seen enough superstitious gamblers that none of it registers as unusual. Request 1. A Mandarin-speaking dealer. Kelly's son prefers it. Request 2. Certain cards to be rotated 180 degrees for luck. Ivy is, he explains, particular about these things. Request 3. An automatic shuffler, but one that does not rotate the cards during the shuffle, only randomizes their order. Request 4. The same deck used for the entire session, not replaced between breaks. Request 5. When cards come out of play, they are to be left in their original orientation, not flipped over. The casino manager considers each request individually. They are unusual, but high rollers have unusual habits. Lucky socks, specific chairs, rituals before every hand. Ivy is betting £50,000 per hand. The casino agrees to everything. A Mandarin-speaking dealer is brought in. The shuffler is configured. The deck will remain. No one in that room understands what they have just agreed to. 11 in the evening. The game begins. Kelly's son watches the first shoe come out 416 cards across 8 decks. She speaks to the dealer softly in Mandarin. Friendly, conversational. She points at specific cards as they come through play. That one, turn it for luck. The dealer rotates it 180 degrees before it goes back into play. She does this selectively, and only for specific cards. 7s, 8s, 9s. In baccarat, these are the cards that determine outcomes. A player hand containing an 8 or 9 is nearly certain to win. A banker hand drawing a 9 is almost unbeatable. There are 128 such cards in an 8-deck shoe, 1/3 of the deck. Kelly's son is not marking them. She is not altering them. She is asking a dealer to rotate them in a direction the dealer would have done randomly anyway, and that small, authorized, completely voluntary rotation will now allow her to tell them apart from every other card in the shoe. The pit boss watches from across the floor. He sees large bets. That is all he is looking for. The dealer sees a politely superstitious player who asks about certain cards. This happens more often than you would think. By 2 in the morning, the deck is sorted. Every high card in the shoe faces one direction. Every low card faces the other. The real game has not started yet. 1 in the morning. The shoe is reshuffled. The automatic shuffler randomizes the order of the cards, but because it does not rotate them, every card retains the orientation Kelly's son has assigned it. High cards still point one way. Low cards still point the other. Ivy can now identify any card in the shoe before it is turned over. He watches the dealer draw the next card. He sees the back before it is flipped. Wide edge toward him. A 7, 8, or 9. He pushes £75,000 forward. Player. The card flips. 9. He collects £75,000. The next card comes out of the shoe. Narrow edge. Low card, a 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. In baccarat, low cards favor the banker hand. Ivy moves his chips. Banker. £100,000. The card flips. 4. Banker wins. He collects another £100,000. This is not luck. This is reading a language no one else in the room knows exists. By 3 in the morning, Ivy is up £1.5 million. The rest of London is asleep. The casino manager arrives on the floor, stands behind the pit boss, and watches. How long has he been playing? 4 hours, the pit boss says. Up £1.5 million. The manager watches for another hour. Ivy keeps winning. Not every hand that would be suspicious, but enough hands. 60%. 65%. In a game where the house edge is 1.06%, winning 65% of hands is not a run of luck. It is statistically impossible unless something else is happening. The manager does not know what that something else is, but he feels it. By 4 in the morning, Ivy is up £2 million. The manager approaches the table, smiles in the way that casino managers smile when they are not smiling at all, and asks if Ivy would like to continue the following night. Same table, Ivy says. Same dealer. Same deck. The manager hesitates for just a moment, then agrees. Whales always come back, and when they come back, they lose. That is the rule. Of course, he says. We will have everything ready. Ivy and Kelly's son leave Crockford's at 5 in the morning, up £2 million on the first night. August 21st, second session, 10 in the evening. Ivy returns, same table, same dealer. The deck has not been replaced, only shuffled, which means the orientation pattern Kelly's son assigned the previous night is still intact. The high cards face the same direction they did yesterday. The shoe has been sitting in a casino vault, perfectly sorted, waiting. The game begins. Ivy bets larger tonight. £75,000 to start. Then £100,000. Then £125,000 per hand. The wins come in waves. First hour, up £1.2 million. Second hour, up £2.4 million. Third hour, up £3.8 million on the session. £5.8 million across both nights. The casino manager is no longer on the far side of the floor. He is standing at the rail, arms folded, watching every hand with the expression of a man who knows something is wrong and cannot identify what it is. He calls the pit boss over, whispers, "Check the shoe, check the shuffler, check the cards, check everything." The pit boss inspects the shuffler, no tampering. He examines the cards, no marks, no bends, no scratches, nothing. Everything is clean. What the pit boss does not know, what no one in that room understands yet, is that he is looking for the wrong thing. There is nothing to find in the shuffler. The information is already inside Phil Ivey's head. He is just lucky, the pit boss says. The manager does not believe in luck. Not like this. But what can he do? Ivey has not broken any rule. He has not touched the cards improperly. He has not signaled anyone. If the casino removes him without cause, Ivey will sue them, and he will win. So they let him play. By midnight, Ivey is up £5 million total across both sessions. The manager walks to the table and tells him, quietly, that they need to close for the night, a shift change, operational reasons. It is midnight. Ivey knows what it means. They are rattled. They want him to stop. "One more hour," he says. The manager nods. He is wrong to nod. It will matter for the next 4 years. Final hour. Midnight to 1 in the morning. Ivey bets the maximum £150,000 per hand. Kelly's son speaks to no one. The deck is fully sorted. They are simply playing the pattern now. Wide edge, high card, bet player. Narrow edge, low card, bet banker. Simple. Mechanical, unstoppable. At 1 a.m., Ivey's total across 2 nights, £7.7 million. Approximately $12 million, US. In 48 hours of play, the single largest win in Crockford's 178-year history. He stands, shakes the dealer's hand, tips him £10,000. The manager approaches with a forced smile. "Quite a performance," he says. "Thank you," says Ivey. "We'll process your payout. Large sums require verification. May take a few days." "I understand," says Ivey. In the car outside, Kelly's son does not look at him when she speaks. They're not going to pay. He looks at her. They have to. "I didn't cheat." She is quiet for a moment. "Doesn't matter," she says. "They'll find a reason." He closes his eyes. "Then we'll see them in court." 2 weeks later, September 2012. A letter arrives from Crockford's. The language is formal and final. "Your winnings will not be paid. We have evidence that you engaged in advantage play that violates the spirit of the game. The £7.7 million is forfeited. Your original deposit of £1 million will be returned in full." Ivey reads the letter once, then reads it again. He calls his lawyer. "They're saying I cheated," he says, "but I didn't cheat. I used my brain." His lawyer reads the letter carefully. "They're not saying you cheated," he says. "They're saying you didn't play fairly. There is a legal difference. We'll find out in court what it's worth." Meanwhile, on the other side of the Atlantic, a second clock has been running since April 2012. Borgata Casino, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Ivey and Kelly's son have been running the same approach across 4 separate sessions. The same 5 requests, the same Mandarin-speaking dealer, the same specific rituals around card orientation. The Borgata agrees without hesitation. Phil Ivey is a $50,000 a hand player, and casinos in Atlantic City do not say no to Phil Ivey. What changes in Atlantic City is scale and duration. The first session yields $2.1 million. The next 2 sessions bring in $3.8 million combined. By December 2012, the total across all 4 visits is $9.6 million. And here is the critical difference from London. Borgata pays. Every dollar, wired, without question. For 6 months, Phil Ivey is the only person in the world who has executed this technique twice, in 2 countries, against 2 major casino operations, and collected payment from both. For 6 months. Then a floor manager, reviewing old surveillance footage on a slow afternoon in mid-2013, notices something. He watches the way Kelly's son speaks to the dealers which cards she asks them to rotate, and why those specific cards, and what happens to those cards for the rest of the session. He pulls the original card records. He studies the orientation data. He calls in the Gaming Commission. And in December 2014, 2 full years after the last chip was collected, Borgata files suit against Phil Ivey for $9.6 million plus interest. By then, Ivey is already standing inside a different courtroom, on a different continent, learning something he had not fully prepared for, that being right and winning in court are not the same thing. May 2014, Royal Courts of Justice, London. Phil Ivey versus Crockford's Casino. The hearing runs for 3 weeks, and the central question sounds deceptively simple. Did Phil Ivey cheat? Crockford's does not claim he stole. Their argument is more precise than that. They argue that Ivey misled them, that he framed his requests as superstition while concealing their real purpose, and that this concealment constitutes a breach of the implied terms under which baccarat is played. The casino manager takes the stand and testifies clearly. Had he understood the actual reason for those 5 requests, he would have refused every one of them. The word superstition was never used explicitly, but the implication was present in every request, and the casino granted those requests on the basis of that implication. When Ivey takes the stand, he is direct. He says he asked. The casino agreed. He used information that was available to any person with the knowledge and skill to identify it. He did not create the defect in the cards. The casino purchased those cards. The casino chose to honor his requests. He won because he found something the casino missed and used it better than they did. Casinos use mathematics against their players every single day. House edges, payout structures, probability weighted in favor of the house on every game, on every floor. When a player uses mathematics back, the argument from the casino is that it is suddenly unfair. His experts argue that edge sorting is no different in principle from card counting. A skill-based advantage the casino does not have to accommodate, but cannot legally prohibit once it has agreed to the conditions enabling it. The judge considers this for months. In October 2014, the ruling arrives and it will be quoted in gaming law courses for years afterward. Mr. Ivey, the judge writes, is a truthful man. He genuinely believed he did nothing wrong. He is not a dishonest person. And then, in the next paragraph, the judge rules against him anyway. Ivey's conduct, the ruling states, was dishonest by the standards of ordinary and reasonable people. The implication of superstition was false, even if the word was never spoken. He did not cheat under criminal law. He did not commit fraud, but he breached the implicit terms of the game, and Crockford's is entitled to keep the £7.7 million. Ivey appeals. Loses the appeal. Every ground dismissed. He is now down £7.7 million and 2 years of litigation. The Borgata clock has not stopped. October 2014. U.S. District Court, New Jersey. Borgata Casino versus Phil Ivey. The American court approaches the same facts through an entirely different lens. They are not interested in honesty or deception. They are not interested in whether Ivey implied anything or what the casino believed. They are interested in one question. Were the cards dealt randomly? The rules of baccarat require randomness. Ivey manipulated the orientation of the cards in a way that destroyed that randomness. The game was not played as it is legally defined. The judge rules for Borgata. Ivey must repay $10 million, $130,000, the original $9.6 million, plus 2 years of interest. Ivey appeals, loses. The ruling is upheld in full. Today, Phil Ivey owes Borgata $10.1 million. He has not paid. The £7.7 million from London is gone, held by Crockfords, unreachable, untouchable, legally forfeited. Kelly's son has disappeared from public life. There are people in certain gambling circles who believe she is still playing quietly, in places where the right cards are still in the right shoe, but there is no record of it. No one has confirmed it. Phil Ivey gave interviews for years after the verdicts, and in every one of them, he said the same thing. He does not regret it. He found a legal exploit. He executed it perfectly. He was caught by no device, recorded doing nothing wrong, and identified by no surveillance. He built the perfect mechanism, ran it for 8 months across 2 continents, and won $21 million from casinos that never saw it coming. He found the exploit. He won every hand that mattered. And then he lost it all in a courthouse to judges who believed him completely and ruled against him anyway. Legal, mathematical, invisible on every camera, in every room, and still not enough.